Hey guys, my name's Wes, and you're watching Wes Nichols TV, and today I'm reviewing Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe is a 2016 horror film starring Jane Levy, Dylan Minnette, Daniel Zovatto, and Stephen Lang. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, and is one of my favorite films of the year so far. I start off all my reviews by talking about the positives. Normally my favorite thing in the movie. This movie is more difficult to do that because I love so many parts of this movie. It is not just a great horror movie, it is a great film altogether. The cinematography in this film is incredible. There are some shots, especially a one shot fairly early in the film, that was just brilliant filmmaking. You're following different characters doing what they're doing early on, and it's just one instant transition to another character, instant transition to another character, and it's so smooth. It allows you to kind of get a layout of this house that they're going to be traveling in a fair amount. You can kind of notice things that they're purposely trying to make sure you key in this corner or over here. There's something that might come into play later. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I really liked that aspect because it had me thinking early on in the film, had me more invested in the film. On top of that, you had great sound design. There's certain sound effects that when they used music, which wasn't the entire film, it was really well placed. And when they did take away the music, the silence was fantastic. You could tell, it's called Don't Breathe. The theater I was in was fairly full. When that silence dropped and you were trying to watch these characters be quiet, no one in the audience was breathing. There was no laughter, there was no snickering. Everybody was intense on the film. They were watching this movie and they weren't breathing because they didn't want to get in trouble with Stephen Lang. This movie had so many levels to it. There's a very basic premise to it that I thought was really well done. At the same time, there were things added throughout the film that made it more and more complex. Stephen Lang, he's the antagonist of the film. That is very true. At the same time, there's a point early on in this movie where you can see he has true fear himself. This is an older blind man. Yes, a ripped, beast-old blind man, but he's still blind. He can't see. And there are people who broke into his house, could be here to hurt him. He can't see them. He doesn't know how many people are there. You can see there's a moment where he has true fear in his eyes, where he sits down and you can see that he's afraid. And at first I thought he was afraid of what he was going to do or what he just did, but no, it's a true fear in what they could do to him. Because yes, he is the antagonist, but he is defending himself, which makes this whole movie more complex and more interesting. There's a line towards the end of the film in a report that adds a whole other depth to it. We really think about the entire film going, wow, if I saw this from a different perspective, this is a completely different movie. And I loved that. On top of that, Stephen Lang's performance outside of that, he doesn't have a lot of lines, but he emotes the hell out of this film. It is absolutely a spectacle. When you're trying to teach somebody how to act, watch this performance, because he's not saying anything. Occasionally he grunts, he says a couple lines here and there, but you can see on his face his emotion. Without using his eyes, he's telling you everything that he's feeling right now, and you feel it. And I'm talking about this same actor for a minute in my review because of how brilliant and how fantastic the performance was. You have great performances across the board, though. Jane Levy is a great young actress. She really performs. You believe she is terrified. There's a, oh my god, a moment in this film where something is about to be nightmarishly scary about to happen to her, and you can honestly believe that she thinks this is going to happen. It was just an outstanding moment in her career that you'll look back on because it is a brilliant performance in a terrifying scene. I'm a guy if this was scary. If you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was sitting with a friend of mine, and she was like, no. This, oh my god, it had her, it had every girl in the audience. It's a terrifying scene. And they really turned that around towards the end of that scene to a great other moment that actually provided a small little bit of levity to this film in still a very intense way. Dylan Minnette, he is good in this movie. You believe he's going through some fear. You believe he's in physical pain through a wide majority of his scenes in this movie. You really believe everything that's going on in these characters. All the actors really perform well. Daniel Zovatto, you believe he's an asshole. That's what you're supposed to believe. He performs that character well. There are complexities and levels to this film, like I was saying. Towards the end, they add a plot device later on. Do I love it? No. Do I like it? I thought it added something, and it had a lot of thought-provoking conversation behind that stuff a little bit later on that leads to the intense scene I just brought up a minute ago. On top of all that, this movie is tense. Like, I'm not going to say this is it's a horror film, for sure, but it's not actually a scary horror film. There are some scary moments, especially for females watching certain scenes in this movie, but for me, it was more tense than anything else. So it had me on the edge of my seat, it had me holding my breath. I was sitting here like, because there are moments in this movie that just have that built in. Are you afraid of claustrophobia? It has something for that. Are you afraid of the dark? It has something for that. Are you afraid of a beast as hell old man, but coming to whoop your ass, got something for that too, if that is your particular thing. Overall, this movie has a lot of things going for it that I absolutely loved. The only thing that's really holding it back for me is that I was hoping to be more scared, and I really wasn't. But all things considered, I absolutely love this movie. It is one of the better films of the year, in my opinion. It's another addition to a great, the best year. I'm calling it right now. It's the best year in horror in the last 15 years. Since 2000 on, best year in horror. It might be longer than that. I have seen so many great horror films this year, and I am absolutely just astonished. We've had some really crappy years lately, and this makes up for them all. I love this movie, and that's why I'm going to give it an 8, almost an 8.5 out of 10. But that is just my opinion. I want to know yours. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, click the like button right over here. Click subscribe right over there to subscribe to Wes Nichols TV and get more of my reviews. You can follow me on Twitter at WesNichols14. You can share me on social media anywhere you like. If you're happy to have me back on the YouTubes doing reviews, let me know in the comment section. It would mean a lot. I'm sorry I haven't been doing videos for a little while. Like I explained in my vlog. I was moving. I got a completely different setup behind me. The lights are all set up differently. It's taken some time. I got a tooth pulled. I've had a lot of things going on that's kind of distracted me. But I'm back. I'm doing videos. I'm happy. I'm going to do some more every week starting September. I'm really excited about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night. Bye.